PC Gamer does it again. They really are trying to dethrone IGN as the worst games news outlet to ever honestly exist. Crimson Desert is still doing phenomenally. Gamers absolutely loved it. It was a great game, still is, in fact, a great game. And considering the mainstream games journalists thought it's horrible that they don't get any help solving puzzles that your average typical 5-year-old that has not been raised on paint thinners can do, and the fact that there is no yellow paint, and you actually need to think and look around and do stuff for yourselves was terrible. Obviously, they hated Crimson Desert. IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. And now PC Gamer is trying to one-up that by writing the stupidest articles known to man, boys. What can I honestly even say about this? Look at this. They found a new way to try and tell us that we are the bad guys, that we are doing something wrong by enjoying the things that we like. Does it never occur to these people that this is maybe the reason why why we hate them? This never-ending slew of just self-righteousness and morally bankrupt decision making. Do they really not see this? They must see it, and they probably don't care, honestly, I think. In any case, only PC Gamer could write an article like this. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that 43% of you care more about a game's world when it comes to role-playing games. So first of all, we're still sticking to the idea that Crimson Desert is a role-playing game, even though most people will now honestly easily agree with the idea that it's kind of an open-world action-adventure game more than anything. Sure, you can roleplay, you can do all of those things, but I mean, PC Gamer is still adamant about the fact that this is supposed to be the next Witcher 3. Okay, this is the next Blood and Wine, or at least it was supposed to be, and now they're mad because it wasn't. Maybe it is, and there's just not enough yellow paint showing them the direction. Who honestly knows? Who honestly knows at this point? In any case, PC Gamer made a poll. This one right here. Yeah, you see it? No, you don't, because I fucking can't. Well, we can open it up in a new tab, and well, we can barely see it. And the voting breakdown goes like this. This thing only had like barely 1,000 people voting. Actually, under 1,000, slightly under 1,000. It looks like. And people, gamers, voted what they actually want to see in role-play video games, or in video games in general, or something that's like Crimson Desert. And the vote breakdown goes like this. A world rich with lore ripe for exploration. 43% voted for that. The story, the grander, the better. 14%. Choices that actually impact the game. 13%. A badass combat with tons of builds. AKA, I'm probably the guy who played this because I have finished Elden Ring, you see, and that is my whole personality as a human now. Previously, I had no personality. So, effectively, Elden Ring, 11%. Interesting characters I inevitably become far too involved with, 11%. What the fuck is even that? Anyway, loads of side quests, hundreds of them, thousands of them, millions. 6%, a killer soundtrack. Thank God no one voted for this. 12 people voted for this. Good. The art school dropouts, the music school dropouts are well and truly represented here, as we can see. So, needless to say, if I have to vote in on any of this, I probably vote about the world. I don't know about you. There's no problem if you honestly vote any other of these ones. But in general terms, I'm also probably voting about the world rich with lore and ripe with exploration. Because this kind of implies a lot of things. This implies that there's a story. This implies that there are choices to be made. This implies there's side quests. This implies a lot. A world rich with lore and ripe for exploration does imply pretty much everything. It is by far the best consumer thing that we can honestly choose here. And obviously, PC Gamer's not happy with that. No, of course not. Because you need to play it for the story, Chud. And any other option is bad. Bad. Bad man. You probably are Hitler's best guy. Yeah. Wait, no, wait. You two, please, relax. In any case, moving on. Yes, PC Gamer now wants you to criticize you for this choice. The easiest, most simplest of choices. I also think this does make sense because, let's be real. Most of the time when it's about games like this, if it's not specifically designed to be like a combat game, which Crimson Desert, honestly, not a lot of people thought that it's going to be so heavily on the combat. The combat is going to be a massive thing, but no one thought it's going to be the controls and, that sort of stuff. So, for a lot of people, Crimson Desert was, okay, what do I want more? A rich, vast, open world with things and fun stuff to do? Or do I want a banger storyline, I honestly think if you have a bad storyline, the open world game can save it, okay? Case in point, Fallout 3, the main storyline's fucking stupid. But the world is interesting enough. But if the world is just bad, I honestly think that that just by default also means that the main quest is going to be boring. If the world is bad, it's kind of hard to get into the main quest. It's hard to get into the stuff that's happening because you just don't care about anything. It's just a classic situation of someone saying, you really must care about insert X. But why? Why? And that's kind of the feeling I at least get. I think a lot of people get this feeling, and I think it's very understandable. If you don't, that's completely fine. But I do think it's very common to be like that, and there's no problem to be like that. Well, unless you're PC Gamer, obviously, in which case you are the worst person alive, okay? You're literally Trump. Horrible. Horrible. RPGs have the blurred. Is this even a real word? Blur's task of creating too many different types of players for creating Lamau, catering to too many different types of players. Where you've got your huge story nerds who go around reading every Berk Journey entry and notice stuck stuck to those little wooden boards they can. It's called a notification board. Jesus Christ. Then there's your good old-fashioned battle-brained gamers. By the way, IGN, for all their faults, at least they write like normal people. I can't wait until PC Gamer starts using AI because this is not AI. AI at least writes in a way that's normal and understandable and there's structured sentences. PC Gamer does not. I love all of the skills, leveling, and combat flexibility that the genre can offer. Ooh, yes. Or maybe your reason for loving an RPG are the little less obvious like characters who populate the world, or even the music that plays as you explore it. So needless to say, the person making this actually probably is valuing music a bit more than a rich and explorable world, which is wild. Maybe this is just another failed musician, who honestly knows. But most of you, it seems, already talking down in a tone that, because, we're the bad people. Liking what you like is bad, liking what I like, that's the good stuff. Keep in mind, remember, we do not hate games journos enough. Just want a sick-ass world that's blessed to explore. Last week I asked you what's the most important thing in RPGs was to you. Who writes like that? As someone who is also a complete sucker sucker for a world I can accidentally spend an entire day walking, galloping, and flying around whilst picking up every item I see, like the loot goblin I am. Dude, journos try way too hard to try and relate to gamers by saying, "Oh, I like to pick up everything. I pick up everything. I'm a new goblin." Yes, and you probably also like the Last of Us TV show, you freak. It came as no surprise to me that you lot also tend to favor a map lush with things to do and see. Kind of sounds like he's mad, and then he's like, "Well, I can't call you just mouth breathers just yet, so wait a little bit." Also, you may like. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for understanding that the typical person does not even get 2 paragraphs in until they are bored of what you write, PC Gamer. Very based. In fact, 43 of you chose that as your most important RPG element, absolutely sweeping every other option. The following 4 were pretty close together though. A lot of you also really value good story choices that actually impact the outcome of the game you're playing. I've personally never been too focused about choice making in RPGs, though I'm certainly never turned down it. Again, this is just someone who's not really even writing an article. They're just, everyone needs to know about my opinion. Nah, just make a YouTube channel. I fucking did. That wasn't that complicated, honestly. Next step, it seems like combat and characters are the next biggest. I'm sure a lot of us became incredibly attached to the cast of Baldur's Gate 3, for example, which is by far my favorite part of particular of that particular RPG. A surprise dud for me, however, was that few of you actually cared about the abundance of side quests. Wait, what? This is a woman? By Molly Taylor. Yeah. I did not even see that. Molly spends her early childhood deeply involved in games like Killer Instinct, Toontown, and Audition Online. What the hell is she, like 20? Which continues to form the pillars of her personality today. Oh, that's so important. Yeah, that's way. I love that the credentials about a person that's supposed to have some credentials in the thing that they're supposed to do is just they really like stuff. I love it when that is. Who cares about credentials? Jesus Christ, these people are making me say that university diplomas matter. She joined PC Gamer in 2020. Yes, probably the biggest event in her life as a news writer, and now lends her experience to write a wealth of features, guides, and reviews with a dash of chaos. Whoa! Ah man. Ah man, we you can't hate these people enough, can you? Yeah, well, it's your fault for having bad taste, I guess, at the end of the day. I guess all of us have bad taste. It is what it is. It is what it is, boys. Never forget the only good taste is their taste, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.